Okay guys, we are going to continue with our angles, and we're going to talk about angle measurements today and a vocabulary that we've been using throughout this unit as well, because we need that vocabulary in order to figure out what these angle measures are. Alright, so in front of us we've got two parallel lines cut by two transversals. So I'm going to try to make this a little easier. Our parallel lines are right here. Okay, and you can usually see that they'll put these little arrows on the line itself showing that those are your parallel lines. And then we've got them cut by a transversal. So we have one transversal here, okay, in the blue, and then I'll do the other one in pink so we can differentiate between the two. Okay, so what we need to come up with is the information that they give us up here at the top. They're telling us that the measure of angle 2 is 92 degrees, and the measure of angle 12 is 74 degrees. Now we have to find the measurements of these other angles based on that information. So let's go ahead and put that in, that the measure of angle 2, which is right here, is 92 degrees, and the measure of angle 12, which is over here, is 74 degrees. Now those two angles don't have anything to do with each other because they're on two different transversals. So we're going to take one of these transversals at a time and try to get the information that we need. Okay? All right, so angle 10 is on this transversal, angle 9, and which other one? Angle 8 is also. So we're going to do those three off of here. So right now I'm just going to cover this up and kind of ignore that because it can be distracting to try to get that information. And we don't do postulates and theorems, but we might talk about which angle relationship exists in order for us to determine what these angle measures are. So angle 10. Right, angle 10 is down here, right here. What relationship exists between angle 2 and angle 10? They are corresponding angles. That means they're congruent in measure. So if this is 92 degrees, then this is also 92 degrees. Okay? Angle 8, which is right here, these are vertical angles. Vertical angles are also congruent to each other. So if this is 92, then this is also 92 degrees. That makes sense. And then we have angle 9 over here. Angle 9 and angle 10 are supplementary to each other. So that means that they add up to be 180 degrees. So if this is 92, I'm going to subtract that from 180, and I'm going to get that this is 88 degrees. Okay, so we're using that vocabulary about what angles go with the others based on the relationship. All right, 4, 11, and 13 are on our other transversal, so I'm going to go ahead and cover this up. And we're going to work off of that side. I'm going to pick a different color. All right, so we know that this is 74. We're looking for, whoops, I guess I can't cover up so much. Let me fold this and try this again so we're not covering up the problems there. There we go. So we're looking for angle 5, 11, and 13. So 5 is right here. These are consecutive interior angles. They add up to 180. So I need to subtract 74 from 180, and I'm going to get that this is 106 degrees. So this equals 106. Angle 11 is here. Now there's a couple of ways that we can look at angle 11. We can do that they are supplementary, so I can subtract 74 from 180 and get it that way. Or they're also alternate interior, 5 and 11, which means they are congruent in measure. Either way, that's going to give me 106 degrees. And our last one is angle 13, which is right here. We've got a couple of things we can look at. It is vertical to 11. That makes them the same measure. It is corresponding to angle 5. That makes them the same measure. It is supplementary to angle 12, which means subtract 74 from 180, and I would still get 106 degrees. So this equals 106 degrees. Okay? So it's so super important to know that vocabulary in order to figure out those angle measures. All right, down here at the bottom, we're going to find the value of x and y. So we're going to do both of them today. It's a little bit more of a challenge, but what I want you to notice is 2 of these pieces have an x and only one has a y. So we're going to start with the 2 that have an x first. Okay? So we need to set up an equation. What I notice is this is an acute angle and this is the obtuse angle. Every acute and every obtuse angle on these figures always add up to equal 180 degrees. So this angle plus this angle are both adding up to be 180. So we have that 9x plus 12 plus 3x equals 180 degrees. We're going to combine our like terms. 12x plus 12 equals 180. Subtract 12, and 12x equals 168. And then when we divide by 12, we get x equals 14. Okay, so I actually need to use this to help me out with the second one. I need one of these angle measures, so I'm going to do that right here. It's 3 times 14. That's going to give me 42 degrees. And I need that to help me with the y part of this. We've done the x part. Now we need to do the y part. So for the second part, we need to figure out what y is equal to. Well, the relationship that exists between this angle and this angle are supplementary. They equal up to 180, just like the last one. So this plus the 42, because I can't use the x, is equal to 180. So 4y minus 10 plus 42 equals 180. Combine your like terms. We're going to subtract 32 to isolate our variable term, and then divide by 4. And y equals 37. Okay? So remember, every equation that we set up is either equal to 90, equal to 180, or equal to themselves. All right, next one. Same situation here. We've got some x's and we've got some y's. What I'm looking for is, what do I have 2 of? I actually have 2 y's this time, so I need to figure out my setup for the y's, and then I'll fill this in to get my x. So I've got this angle here, and I've got this angle here. This is the obtuse angle, this is the acute angle, so together they equal up to 180 degrees. So 5y minus 4 plus 3y equals 180. Combine your like terms. I'm going to add 4 this time, opposites, and divide by 8, because that's my coefficient of y. And I get 23. Now again, I need to substitute that in here because these two things I'm going to relate together, and this I need a value for. So it's just 3 times 23 gives me an angle measurement of 69 degrees. Okay? So now I can use that to answer my next question. So the next question is x. This and this, they are corresponding angles. They have the same measure. That means we set them equal to each other. They are congruent. So that 2x plus 13 equals that 69 degrees because they are corresponding angles. So I'm going to subtract 13 and divide by 2, and x equals 28. Okay? So that's it for the front of the notes. We do have a little bit on the back, same concept, where we have to kind of figure out those angle degrees from different figures. All right, so we're on number 9. And on number 9, they give us this 47 degrees. We have to figure out the y and we have to figure out the x. Well, guys, what I'll tell you, this is 90 degrees if that's 90 degrees. So what I know is these are complementary angles here. So what I need to do is take 90 and subtract 47. That's going to give me 43 degrees. So y is 43 degrees. Okay? And then on this side, what I know about these two is these two are supplementary. That's 180. So I take 180 and subtract 47, and that gives me that x is 133 degrees. So again, know that vocabulary, super important. Okay? All right, next one, number 10. This is all done by vertical angles and supplementary angles. 70 and this angle are vertical to each other. They have the same measure. So if this is 70, this is 70. These two angles here are supplementary. They add up to 180 degrees. So I subtract 70 from 180 and get this is 110. This is vertical to this. That makes that also 110. So the vertical angles are great because they make things really easy to see as far as what their values are going to be. Same exact process here. These two are vertical angles. If this is 53, then this is 53. Okay? These two are supplementary angles. They add up to 180. So I take 53 from 180. This is 127 degrees. These are vertical to each other, so this is 127 degrees. Okay. And our last one for today, ladies and gentlemen, this one here, same concept. We are trying to figure out this angle right here by using what we know. This one can get a little complicated, but you got to think through the process, okay? All right, so we have two parallel lines, and let me highlight those again for you. These are my parallel lines here and here, and we're cut by two transversals. I'll do one in pink and one in blue, just like I did last time. So we have this, the pink one, and then our blue one, so we can kind of differentiate between the two, okay? All right, so here's what I know. I know, I'm going to ignore the pink one for a second, that this angle and this angle right here are corresponding angles. They have the same measure, so this is 60 degrees. Okay, that's the easiest way to do it. Now this you may not know, and I'm going to write this down, but the angles in any triangle equals 180 degrees. So I have a triangle right here. I know two of them, so I can add them together and subtract from 180 to get what this angle measure is right here. So I add 60 plus 65, and then I subtract that from 180, and I get that this is 55 degrees. Well, now I've got supplementary angles here. So if this is 55, and together they make 180, subtract 55 from 180, and I get that this is 125 degrees. Okay? So this one's a little bit different. We hadn't talked about the angles inside of a triangle, but that is good information to know. You don't get it very often in these, but if it does pop up, it's super helpful. All right, guys, that is it for our notes for today. Please do not forget you are to submit your notes for credit today, so scan them or take a picture of them and send them to me, and that's an easy 100. If you have any questions, let me know. Everybody have a great day.